rain, particularly at the start of this year. But the leak first came in, I thought, well, maybe it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Vacuumed it up with a rug bucket over it.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Do you want to sort of show me through what you had, where you found it and
so
everything?
the first thing I noticed was under, so where my footwell is.
Yep.
This is how I first noticed it. I put my foot in and it kind of squelched.
Okay,
and
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of dried out now, but about a week ago, if I was doing that, it was coming
it's
up
really
over
wet.
my fingers.
Yeah.
And it also goes all the way back there as well.
Yeah.
But apart from anything else wet, I haven't really noticed anything.
Okay.
It's just
the
this
front.
area.
Passenger side wet at all, or not that you noticed?
Not wet, but it had some mould kind of right in the corner
Yeah.
there by the kind of left-hand side.
Yeah.
And I noticed like kind of this bit like this on my kind of,
Yeah.
I think is that kind of dew or residue, that kind of thing that looks a bit
Okay.
water damaged.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mainly just this area as well.
Yeah, that's fine. When you first found it, was it literally just the water in the car that brought you to it, or was it you haven't seen any drip marks or anything like
It
that
was
at
actually
all?
the water in the footwell that I first noticed. I've never really noticed like dripping from the roof or the windows, anything like that. It's just the footwell that's wet, weirdly.
Any electrical issues at all?
No.
Doors, windows all lock and all work and everything
Fine,
like that?
Everything's working, so that's weird.
All right, no worries. You taking it to anyone else to try and get it diagnosed or sorted at all? No, it's just straight to us.
Yeah.
All right, perfect, no worries. That's pretty much most of it already. Any other bits and pieces you want us to quote up for whilst we've got the vehicle at all, or is it just
I just I'd like it dry and then to find out where it's coming from really, so we can fix that. So that's my main goal.
Okay. All right, no worries.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, so we've got a VW Golf here convertible in. Basically what it's in for is a 28-point check. What we're going to do is I'm going to go around and show you whereabouts in the vehicle it's wet with our diagnostic meter. So you can see there, that's actually reading off the charts. So, I mean, and even up there as well, you can see it's extremely wet. So I'll come around to the rear, or the passenger, sorry. Have a little check if it's wet down here. Not too sad. And then if we lift up this mat here, take a look under this footwell. Basically you don't want to have water in the car, so you can see there that it's fairly damp, just touching on the red. You see this part, as you get further to the trim over here, it's getting more and more wet. So basically you don't want to have water under the underlays. You get things like mould and mildew start to appear after a while. But I mean, long term you can get electrical faults as well as the water starts to creep up to the bulkhead. But yeah, what I'll show you now is what's wrong with it basically. So let me go grab one of our squirty bottles. So I've got this here. Basically what I'm going to show you is, so the sunroof pipes are flushing fine, but when I pour water down this hole here, so this second one, you'll see the water tends to come out actually outside of the rubber. So if I pour some water, so you can see it coming out the bottom there. But if I pour some more, you should see it start to sort of come over the lip. So you can see the drops there. Obviously it's a bit temperamental, but we did find it to be poking through. So you can see there, you can see that water's actually flowing underneath. So whether that's blocked or not, all I have to do is have a little investigation to that. But what I'll do now is I'll show you the door membranes. Okie dokie, so I'm just going to show you the door membrane issue that we've found. So I'm going to pour some water down here, just through that gap. It basically should be running out of the drains. Doors have 2 drains at the bottom, some have more, either side, and they usually just drain out there. But if we come around to the inside, you can see there, you've got a constant drip of water coming out from underneath the door card here. But you can see the drains at the bottom, where it's meant to be draining from. And basically what happens is when that door card sits on here, when it's closed, it basically sits on this lip, so any water that's getting through is basically running over this lip of rubber and making its way into the underlay, which explains why it's wet. But what I'm going to show you now is also I'm going to show you the rear of the vehicle. Right, so just poured some water down the rear light. If we come inside, we can see on this air vent at the bottom here, you can see you've got that water coming through. So you can see at the bottom there, that stainage. Basically, there shouldn't be any water coming through there. So it's a very common thing on cars. People tend to forget about them. But if you come to the passenger side as well, you can see this one's leaking a lot more. You've got all that water at the bottom there, which is collecting all that gunky stuff as well. And you can see the water that's then dripping out of the air vent, then coming into the box section there. And basically what it does is that then runs down the vehicle, down the side, and then makes its way under the underlay. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what we're going to do basically. So in order to get this sorted, what we'll do is, with the door membranes, because we're all putting at the same time, the fact that that one's gone could mean that that one can go at any time. So what we'll do is we'll do both of them together, make sure they're all nice and watertight, so you haven't got to worry about that. What I'm going to recommend as well, now I've triple checked these because it's usually very common, but these door membranes on the rear, they're basically designed, right? So you got the membrane itself, and then you've got a rubber gasket at the bottom that slots in. Basically what they do is they seal around the top of the plate of the membrane, and then they leave the rubber gasket at the bottom unsealed. And basically what happens on these, we've had the last couple of cars of these, they've both been leaking really heavily from the rear membranes, and what it is because they don't seal the gasket at the bottom. So basically that leaves it open for water, and then when the water gets in, it runs through the gasket, because the gasket sits like that, like a sandwich onto the lip, and then basically it comes through and goes all the way down through there. I mean, there is signs of water there, but that could be from something else. That could be from the sunroof pipes, because I've triple checked these, but I'm going to put them on there as a recommendation, just because the last couple of cars of these that we've done, this specific model, they've both been leaking, and leaking heavily as well, so we're a bit worried about that. But obviously, if you don't want to go ahead with a recommendation, that's fine, but we do say that there's a thing. So if you don't go ahead with the recommendations, then you don't get free dry. So if the vehicle gets wet for whatever reason in the near future, then you're not entitled to a free dry and all that. So that's all. But in regards to stripping the vehicle, what we'll do is we'll take out all the seats, take out all the trim, suspend the underlay into the air, so that way there's no sort of contact on the bodywork. So if you've got any contact, you put the carpet back down underlay. Then that's when you can get things such as mould start to appear. So we get all that suspended in the air, and then what we have to do is we have to suck the water out, then dry it. In regards to the sunroof pipes, what we're going to have to do is we'll flush them first. See, there's a little blockage along here, but I believe it's a hole. So what we'll do is we'll have a little further investigation, have a little look at what's going on under there, and obviously once we find out, I'll put that on the estimate for you. But apart from that, with the drying situation, we're going to need about 2 nights dry, because this underlay is it's pretty thick, but it's not too bad. This stuff tends to dry a lot quicker than all the modern cars, but it's still extremely wet. So yeah, that's all. If you'd like to give us a call back as soon as you get the estimate and all that, but I mean, that's it. If you're watching this on YouTube or anything, click the link down below. But that's all. Sorry, just a quick reminder, when we do the air vents, what I'm going to have to do is order some new air vents for you, and then we just put them in, prime them, seal them, make sure they're nice and tight. But in order to get this bumper off, to get to the air vents, we've got to take the rear lights out, because there's some clips under here that stop the actual bumper from pulling out towards us. You've got to take the rear lights out first. So when we do that, what we do is we seal them up anyway. They're not leaking, however, which is fantastic, but it's just part of our policy or protocol. We seal the rear lights anyway if we take them out, just to be sure. But yeah, apart from that, that's all. Also, what I'm going to say for this Golf is what we're going to do is recommend you get hook clean and reproof, just because there's all that dirt and debris around here. So once you get all the pipes and stuff flushed like that, if you've still got sort of dirt on the roof, it's just going to run down and block the pipes again. So what we do is we'd get a nice hook clean and reproof. Obviously, you can have a look at that on our website, and it'll make the car look a lot better, and also it'll run smoother as well, so you won't get any block pipes coming up. But yeah, that's all. Apart from that, that's it.
Just a quick update video for you. So the bumper is off, all the new vents have all gone in. This side of the car has all been stripped out, as well as the other side. So we're just getting that all nice and dried. The door membranes are all back on now, and the fronts are all done as well. So yeah, all cracking on nicely. Good morning, just a quick update video for you. So the vehicle has all gone through its repair work. All the doors, the drainage and everything like that, they've all been working away, getting that all sorted. Vehicle's obviously come outside now, we're just giving it a bit of a courtesy wash, nice and stand through, the little wheels are thoroughly clean at the moment. Before we go on to our hood clean, so basically we're going to be getting all of the dirt, the grime, and everything like that is on the roof owner, taking that all off, and then it's obviously going to have its protective coating as well. We're just giving it a bit of a thorough clean for you as well. Just part of the service, just make sure it all looks good and how it should be when it comes back to you. Okay, just a end video for you on the Golf that came into us with a water leak. So the roof has all been cleaned, all that green sort of debris and everything has all come off, so out of all the runners and everything like that. Got a few little fold marks here and there where the roof folds down, but obviously they're just standing out a little bit more in our harsh lighting. But apart from that, it's all done. It's had a courtesy wash as well. So the car's looking nice and clean. Inside the vehicle, it's all back as we found it. It's all dry underneath the mats and everything like that, on both sides, and obviously all the door cards and everything like that, and the back as well is all back together. So now it just needs to go out and have its real world test. It's been under our rain arch, so that's obviously a very heavy downpour simulated on the roof. And across all the paintwork and everything like that. But we do say it now needs to go out and have its real world environment test. So drive it around as you normally would, but just check those areas from where you were underwater before. We normally say after the first few heavy downpours. But yeah, apart from that, car is all ready to come and collect.
Amazing.